Shoulders Yogis, lovely to see you again on your mat. We're going to look at a little leg raise exercise. Not so much for the glamour of it. It's not a spectacular pose by any means, but I want you to think about where you lift your limbs from. So when you're lifting your arm up, do you lift from the shoulder here, or do you lift from the back? And when you lift your leg up, do you lift from the hip, or do you lift from the core? So we want to cultivate, spoiler, lifting from the core and from the bigger muscles that support the joints, rather than from lifting from the joints themselves. We're just going to look at the leg lift today. We'll look at the arms another time. So find yourself in your Tadasana pose, your mountain pose. So remember, you can either have a fist width between your toes, your big toes, or you could have your big toes together. But just make sure that the outer edges of your feet are parallel to the ends of your mat. Take a moment, settle in. Now, if you've got dodgy balance, and mine's not great, you can always go to the wall and rest one hand against the wall, or you could have your hand on a tabletop or kitchen work surface if you're practicing this when you put the kettle on. Perfect time to practice this. So you could just rest one hand on the worktop. So don't have the fear of falling. This isn't about the balance, this is about the process that we would use to move into the balance, lifting that leg. So here we go, let's try on our Tadasana, give it a little wriggle, get it comfortable. And then you're going to shift your weight into your right leg. So it's just a gentle shift of the weight over. We're not throwing the hip out at all, we just want the weight to move across. And we can come to the toes now of the left foot. So we're getting ready to lift the left leg. We're just going to lift the knee, we're not going to straighten it. So hands on hip. And first of all, we're going to lift from here. So bring your awareness to your hip joint. Fix your gaze on an unmoving spot if you're doing this as a balance. Make sure that tailbone is still lengthening down. We're still maintaining that beautiful equality of opposites. That rooting down, that lengthening up. We don't want to lose that. We want our core to be busy to help support the pose. And lifting from here, lift the leg, place it back down again. And lift and place. And lift and place. And lift and place. And lift. So it should feel fairly easy. It feels quite loose in that joint. So we'll try it the other way around now. But re-establish the Tadasana first. Take a few breaths. And then shift the weight over when you're ready into your right leg again. Coming to the toes of the left leg. Find the Tadasana again if you find it's moved, and it quite often will. Just by doing this, you can throw yourself out. So establish your Tadasana again. Hands on hips. Now this time I want you to visualize you are lifting your leg from here. Your leg starts here. So take a moment, see if you can tap into that. And then when you're ready, now lift the leg. Ooh, I'm wobbly on this. Too much underlay under this carpet. How did you get on? It probably feels more difficult to begin with, but it will feel more stable and more under your control. When we're lifting from the joints directly, it tends to be an autopilot kind of move. Here, everything is drawing in, everything is mindful, so you know everything is safe and it's more efficient. Ultimately, it will be easier because you're using bigger groups of muscles to do the work rather than the smaller ones that are really more designed for just gently holding the joints together rather than doing the heavy lifting. We want the big muscles to do the heavy lifting. So let's try the other side. Have a little wriggle. And And shift the weight over now into your left leg. Maintain that Tadasana, remember. See how you can manage that. So that tailbone lengthening down, pubic bone gently curling forward. Lovely length through the heart. And lifting from your joint. See how you go. Okay. Take a minute. Establish that Tadasana, take your time. Just become aware of any residual sensations arising from your body from that movement. And then we'll try doing the other side. Hands on the hips, shifting the weight over to your left leg. So your leg starts here now, not from here. So lifting from your core. Okay. How did it feel? Work on it. The perfect exercise for when the kettle's on, remember. Slow it down so you're lifting even more slowly. There we did it quite quickly, just so that you could try and feel the difference between the two techniques. But really contracting that core, lifting from your center, take your time, breathe and notice. Notice what's going on in your body. Good luck. Namaste.